I'm honestly happy to have the election behind us. I know there will always be new challenges as a result of change, and just looking forward to kind of get back at it.
I'm Diego Sanchez, president of HousingWire, and this is 10-Minute Talks. My guest today is Lauryn Dempsey, a realtor in the Denver area. Lauryn, welcome to 10-Minute Talks.
Thanks so much for having me. Happy to be here.
Before we dive in, could you give a brief introduction of yourself and your real estate practice?
Yeah, so real estate is actually a second career for me. I'm a 2008 graduate of the U.S. Naval Academy, and I spent 8.5 years on active duty, driving warships, leading teams, working at the Pentagon, doing high-level PR and communications before deciding to get out and seeing what the civilian life was like. So I did a couple startup stuff, and I finished my master's degree and just realized I was not a cubicle warrior. So I decided to get into real estate. I had bought my first home when I was 22 years old in 2008. So it was a really great experience. And when I wanted to do something a little bit more entrepreneurial, real estate is what came to mind. So I've been licensed since May of 2019, and I am here in Denver. I am a solo agent, but I do have 2 support staff that's supporting me throughout buying and selling journeys with my clients. And it's been kind of a bit of a wild ride. I'm kind of a COVID agent, so I don't really know what the before times look like as an agent, and have been sorting my way out ever since. But it's been a great career for me these past 5.5 years.
And are you a real estate investor alongside your real estate practice?
So I am a real estate investor. I currently have 4 total properties, my primary residence and then 3 others. And then my first property that I bought out in San Diego in 2008, I actually closed on December 31st, 2008 as the market was crashing. Once I left San Diego for the Navy, I turned that into a rental for a few years. And then I ended up selling it before the capital gains came into play.
Nice. So your LinkedIn headline is great. It reads, "Real estate insights from the front line of the U.S. economy." Why do you have that tagline, and what's your content strategy for LinkedIn?
Yeah, so I started posting on LinkedIn about 2 years ago, almost in December of 2022. They really decided to kind of work on LinkedIn and focus on LinkedIn because that was when rates were starting to come up. We were starting to see these headlines in national news, and they were having real world impacts with my clients and the conversations that I was having. So I really kind of wanted to just share what I'm observing, what the opportunities in the market were, stories of successes and challenges that my clients were facing. And it's kind of evolved from there. I think it's been a really great reflection for me. So I write every morning, and it makes me think about the conversations I'm having, identify the trends in those conversations, read the data, pay attention to the news, and really understand what's going on. And kind of over that time period, what I've really realized is that I am on the front lines of the economy. If you think about it, the real estate market is estimated to be about 18% of GDP in 2023. And so I am hearing these conversations with my clients. They're from all different socioeconomic profiles, and really understanding what the trends are before the data even comes out. So I'm kind of on the ground, having the conversations, gathering what the pulse of the market is before maybe some of the bigger reports come out shortly thereafter.
And you've been pretty out front in terms of how your business has responded to the recent NAR settlement, which was relatively recently implemented.
Mm-hmm.
How has that settlement impacted your business?
It really hasn't, to be honest with you. I've always done buyer consultations in Colorado. We've had exclusive right to buy ever since I've gotten started in the industry. If anything, it's just being more pointed about it, asking people what they know about what they've heard in the headlines, and be able to combat some of those misinformation that I sometimes hear. And then just being upfront and honest, make sure that people know that I'm always going to fight for them. I'm on their side. And this is what the cost of my services are. And I really don't get any pushback. I think it's because I have a process. I'm delivering value. I'm thinking strategically and really really trying to stand out from the crowd and the advice and insight that I provide, that I don't really get much pushback at all. And I think that's a good thing, right? Because people want to pay for good advice and services. And the transparency, I think, kind of rips off the Band-Aid for the entire industry of like, this is what it costs to work with an agent with the buying and selling. And yes, there sometimes is a cost. Most of the times we're able to negotiate that with a seller, not all the time, but ultimately it's in your best interest to work with an agent to help protect you and mitigate risk in the short and long term.
Yeah, there's real value in a trusted advisor. I've
Exactly.
seen it in my real estate transactions. I'm sure you've seen it in your real estate transactions prior to becoming a realtor. There's real value there.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that, if you've ever tried Googling how to buy a home, you don't get any good information. And so the good on the ground information really comes from the people who are working in real estate day in, day out. And those are your lenders and your real estate agents and the people who are doing this every single day and understand the nuances of the market too.
So what percentage of your business is focused on working with buyers and what percentage is focused on working with sellers?
Yeah. So this year I've actually been pretty 50-50 split. So it's been nice to have both buyers and sellers. It's a challenging year, right? There's interest rates that are up, down, left, right, and then inventory's low, then it shoots up here in Denver. So lots of increasingly complex situations that we have to navigate through, but I've had a great year. It's going to be my best year yet. So I'm excited for, what 2025 has to hold. And I'm actually probably one of the few agents that is grateful for the past 2 years. It's been really challenging, but it's enabled me to focus on systems, processes, client experience, and really up my game because I'm no longer playing whack-a-mole, running to a showing, and I'm able to take time. And I think that's good for not only agents, but also for buyers and sellers too.
Yeah, I imagine it also pushes out some of the borderline agents so that the quality agents, the professional agents, the trusted advisors are winning more business.
I do think that has to be the case, right? There's only so long that people can hang on that don't have a professional business. And that's really what I'm excited about is I think that our settlement really is bringing in the rise and the era of the professional agent. There's so many complexities these days and so many headwinds for both buyers and sellers that it's challenging to navigate. And they really need someone who does this every day and can help them solve their problems that they think are insurmountable.
So you're a solo realtor, but you've got 2 support staff. You also have named your practice the Dempsey Group. So I imagine there's some aspirations in that name. Do you want to grow bigger in terms of the number of agents in your group?
I'm selective, to be honest with you. So I like training and coaching, but I can't want it more than the agent wants it, right?
Yep.
And so if I find the right mix and an agent is ready to hit the ground running and, sometimes do that grunt work and I see that desire, initiative, and hustle, absolutely, I'm happy to partner with them. So I just like to uphold my standards and also deliver a highly professional experience. So it is... I think running a real estate business is you're running a business and there's lessons learned. I've had agents on the team before. I've had W-2 employees, that type of thing. And so you really kind of have to learn what works for you and focus on what's best for you and also best for your clients too.
And why did you decide to have the Dempsey Group powered by Real?
Yeah, so Real is my 4th brokerage. I learned a lot in the first 3 that I was at. And really what I see Real as, it's a platform for me to build and leverage my own brand. And they take care of the back end while I'm the agent front and center delivering the experience to my clients.
And where do most of your leads come from in your business?
They come from 5 different sources. So professional referrals, either other agents, financial advisors, business coaches, that type of thing. Client referrals, past clients, farming, and then LinkedIn as well. That's been my sources this year.
So LinkedIn, that content strategy on LinkedIn is paying off locally.
Yeah, absolutely. I think LinkedIn is underutilized by real estate agents. And so that's really helped me elevate my voice and my brand there. It also is, I think, a platform where your content gets to the people who you actually want them to get to. So it doesn't your feed isn't full of recommendations or ads or anything like that. And not only do I learn a lot there, but I also, I think, provide a lot of value too. I don't pay for any ads or anything like that. But I've had over 5 million impressions in just the past year alone, just from organic content. So I really do think it's an untapped platform for real estate agents and just the real estate professionals in general.
I didn't notice any of the portals in that list of lead sources.
Nope. I am. I like to be in charge of my own business and not depend on anyone else.
Totally makes sense. So how's the market in Denver right now? You've mentioned declining inventory, increasing inventory. Obviously, rates have not been moving in the right direction since the Fed rate cuts. How's the market where you are?
Yeah, so I really think it's kind of dependent on location, where you are in the Denver market, and then what are you buying or selling. So we do have a lot more inventory than we've seen since 2011. So in total, I think we're around 10 to 11,000 homes for sale on the market, which is a significant uptick. And so certain areas of town are performing a lot better than other areas of town where inventory is starting to build up. And then single family is definitely, doing better than attached homes are. I see a lot of challenges rising right now in the attached market from insurance and HOA, and that is just providing a little bit more challenges to get those homes sold, unfortunately. But I do like the market, right? I do like that not every home is going super fast, that buyers have time to negotiate. I was looking at the stats earlier today, and about 27% of homes are going in the first 7 days on market. So really about 3/4 of homes are on the market for greater than a week. Over half are actually going for under asking price. And I think about 60% or so are offering seller concessions. So it is a good time to kind of get in the market. The challenges for people who are in the market right now, I really see are the more recent buyers who are trying to sell. So the 2022 clients, I'm having hard conversations with them, encouraging them to try and stay in the house a little bit longer, rent it out if they have to move, because I'm not necessarily seeing all of them be able to sell for what they bought. So just some unique challenges. And that really kind of leads into, I think, pricing, at least for now, is going to stay flat, if not go down a little bit, go up a little bit. It's really going to be dependent on interest rates and then what that does to inventory as well.
Well, I love talking to a realtor that knows their local market so well. Where do you get your data from?
Yeah, so 2 different sources I really pull from. So there's the Denver Metro Association of Realtors puts out a monthly report. And then there's a title rep. Her name's Megan Aller at First American Title. And she really does some great deep dive reports on both the attached and detached markets that gets very granular. So I can kind of see how many showings per listing, what percent is offering concessions, what percent, how much do I need to drop a price by if it's overpriced, that type of thing. So it really helps me understand the market, both macro and micro, and truly advise clients kind of in the local level all the way down to their neighborhood as well.
So last question, are you optimistic or pessimistic about the all-important spring housing market in Denver?
I'm optimistic. I'm honestly happy to have the election behind us. I know there will always be new challenges as a result of change. But I think that there were just a lot of people uncertain, concerned about what would happen during the election and then what may happen afterwards. So just looking forward to kind of get back at it. I don't know where interest rates are going to go. I'm not going to try to guess on that one. I think we're all going to be wrong if we keep trying to guess. So Just trying to provide the advice with what we know at hand and help clients maneuver with where rates are today. But I think that, we're kind of been at the bottom, right? With total home sales just nationally. I don't think we can go much lower. So I think there's just only kind of upsides moving forward.
Lauryn, it's been incredible talking with you. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. It was a pleasure.